As it is tradition for the Northwest University, every March of the new academic year, we hold our regular council meeting. But we precede that meeting with a council workshop. And as we do that, we normally pick themes and perhaps sometimes invite external experts to come and workshop council on particular areas that are topical, for example. This year we decided on 3 areas, and most of them were inwardly looking. The first area was management's response to COVID-19 pandemic. The second area was to look into the external review of council by an external team of experts. And the last one was the management of ethics within the institution. That we did with in collaboration with Ethics Institute. Now, on the issue of ethics, a survey was conducted across the university and all the internal stakeholders. And what was presented to us by the Ethics Institute was basically the results of the questionnaire and the survey, as well as their take on interpreting the results. What emerged out of that was clearly the fact that basically ethics and the management of ethics in the university is work in progress. There are areas where we are very well developed. There are areas where we were developing, and there are areas where we are underdeveloped. Ethics risk management was found to be one of the areas that we need to improve on. So a lot of effort is going to be made by management to put in place an action plan that will address all the gaps that were identified by this external team of experts from the Ethics Institute. And Council is going to be monitoring progress of implementation of that action plan every council meeting, so that we are satisfied that these areas and gaps have been closed. As far as the COVID-19 management is concerned, how the University Management Committee has conducted itself in response to the COVID-19. Council was assured after extensive presentation by all portfolios of management, from finances to student life to people and culture to research and innovation, as well as the core business of teaching, learning and community engagement. It was clear that our leaders of the university were much more than prepared for the pandemic, much more than we had ever thought they would be. A lot of progress has been made. Innovative ways to address the issues were also emerging as they go. For example, some of their activities in community engagement had to be redirected, actually assisting the community during the pandemic. For example, delivery of food and educating the community in as far as the pandemic itself is concerned, delivery of PPE and sanitizers and so on and so on. We are quite satisfied that the blended learning mode has yielded very good results, to the extent that management reported even better throughput of students passing their exams this year than the previous year. That definitely tells us something, that our methods, our interventions in as far as blended learning is concerned are working. Last year we had this team of experts that came to review our workings of council, the effectiveness of council committees, and most importantly to interrogate the relationship between management and council. That report was released last year, and council now had to take stock during this workshop yesterday to see how we could address some of the recommendations that came out of the report. The report, of course, came up with lots of good practices as well as a number of suggestions for improvements. We have taken stock We have agreed to implement the suggestions, and yesterday was the time for council committees to decide on the actions on how these recommendations are going to be implemented. It was a robust discussion that ended up with everybody agreeing that there is room for improvement, and throughout the year we'll be implementing these suggestions and we'll be monitoring progress as we go. Finally, we also would like to take stock of the situation of the unrest all over the country with student protest. In particular, protests in Amafikeng campus. We believe that there can always be peaceful means of resolving conflict, and violence is never a solution to anything. Management continues to engage with our students in Mafikeng to ensure that solutions are sought in a peaceful manner. And as a safety measure, of course, we had to shut down the campus for the safety of students and also for the safety of property. The Vice Chancellor and his team continue to monitor the situation and engage with student leaders. This is a national crisis. It is not confined to any campus or any university, and therefore we think ultimately the national leadership, in collaboration with all leaders of universities and institutions, must and will come with sustainable solutions to problems of student funding. Thank you.